Welcome to Pop Chat. My name is Annette Tarpley. I'm the host and also the founder of The Passion of Poetry. And today I'm delighted to have back for the second time Sylvia Beverly, Lady Di. And so glad to have you back. Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Annette. I'm pleased to be back.
You are welcome. It's always a delight, always a delight. I was reading your kind of your bio that you sent me earlier. It's quite lengthy. You've accomplished so much, and you really are, a very. Uh, um, Look at Rick. Rick's called me back. This is Rick. This is impromptu. Hey, Rick, you're on Pop Chat. Say hey.
Hey, hi there. How are you?
I'm good. I was having technical difficulties earlier, but you weren't available. So say hi to all the Pop Chat people because you are live.
Well, hi there, Top Chat people. How's everybody?
Hey there.
There's Sylvia. She said hey. So I think we kind of got it fixed. I I was consulting him for some audio problems. So, but I will talk to you soon, Rick.
Okay, you take care. Have a good night. I know it'll be a good show.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Our special guest, Rick Spacek. So, um, so you're very prominent really within the community, and you've accomplished so much during your poetic career. How long have you been writing again? Has it been since childhood?
Yes, since childhood, my first public poem
Hmm.
was sixth grade. For
Wow.
sixth grade, that was a homework assignment. I wrote a
Hmm.
poem. My teacher was impressed. She said this will
Wow.
be very good for our graduation. So I memorized it and I recited it. And it's in my newest book. I finally put it in a book.
There it is.
It's in this book, A Kiss of Curiosity. And the name of the poem is One Fond Farewell.
Wow. And
I
you were
still
how
know
old when you wrote that? How old?
I was in the sixth grade, so 11.
It's a very elaborate title for a somebody who's in sixth grade to come up with. I mean, that's a pretty beautiful title, a very poetic title.
I think I came up with it like I usually keep things pretty simple still in my writings. And that was like I was leaving them, so farewell. And I was always matured. I was always, pretty grown for my age, being the oldest daughter and the what do I want to say of nine children. So I kind of grew up with my parents. I was pretty grown. My mommy and I we were like sisters.
Very good. And I'm sure that you probably had a big part in helping raise some of your siblings as
I
well.
I did, and they tell me that, and they remember it, and they're so good to me.
Oh,
My
that's good.
sisters, my sisters are doll babies to me. They're angels, all of
That is
them.
that is great. I remember you have one sister that's very artistic.
Yes, she's
Yeah.
a visual artist. Started painting. I think about a month or so after we buried my mom. She was mom's main caregiver, and she just ended up going in the because she would crochet. She makes quilts and blankets and stuff, and she thought she was getting that type of material. And I think she got some, but she also got some paint, and some kind of canvas or something. I think cardboard or something. But when she took it back to the artist at the Michaels or whichever one of those stores it was, he he said, you really have something there. You should get some more paint and some more canvas and so forth and start painting some more things. Her house is an art gallery now, and
Wow,
that was
that's wonderful.
2013.
Did she ever
2013.
did she ever sell any of her works?
Yeah, she in 2014 she became a licensed. 1 year later, she became a licensed artist in New Orleans, and she lived between her place and New Orleans for about
Wow.
3 years. 3 years. She came home just before that COVID, just before the pandemic.
And you also are one of your things you also have is that you cook, and I recently purchased her cookbook.
Oh, thank you. That's
Cooking
so
up
sweet.
stuff, yeah. So yeah, there you go. We both got one. So great book. I will be utilizing some of these recipes. I just came upon peach cobbler. Yum.
Guess
So
what? I'm working on my second cookbook.
are you?
I have so many recipes that are not in this book.
I will.
So it'll
I will
be
pay. I will pay you to make and send me peanut butter cookies.
oh, I owe you cookie sweets if you want them to
No,
be peanut. I do.
no,
I haven't
no.
forgotten. It's just
I will.
busy.
Oh, I hear you. I don't know why. I'm not really usually a peanut butter person, but for some reason I've been craving peanut butter cookies,
Me
and I'm not
too.
usually.
I
It
might have
must
to
be.
do it.
We must have a peanut butter deficit. So
I better make those cookies soon for both of us.
we've
And
got
I
some.
don't know.
Look who's joined
Hmm?
us.
Where is he?
Who's joined us?
Oh,
Dr.
Dr.
Michael
Michael.
Anthony Ingram. We were talking about you prior and wondering how you're doing. So hello to you. And I
Oh,
believe that he was the one who initially introduced me to you. So I
he
thank you.
did. And he told me he would be here today. Thank you so much, Dr. Michael.
Yes,
Thank
we
you so much,
appreciate
my
you.
friend.
He is a podcaster and has paved the way for me and is very much serves as a mentor to me. He's marvelous in what he does. Not
He
only
is.
that, but he's a great poet and writer. It's
Oh,
wonderful.
yes.
Yeah.
I
Which
wish he could do a poem tonight. We are unable to bring him on, aren't we? Are we?
we could. Would you do that? Because we would love to have you on. So if you would grace us with that, Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram, I will send you the link. I'll send you the link anyway right
Send him the
now.
link and then he can
And
come on.
we would love to have you join us because that's two of us who wants to be graced by your presence. So let me send that to him real quick. And what a great idea was that. Thank you for that.
I had that
Um,
in my head already.
I don't know if he's got his lipstick on and everything though.
Oh, he'll be all right.
No, he'd be all right.
He's a natural. He's a natural
He's a
man.
natural beauty, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's real easy on the eyes.
Let me make sure I did send that to him because I thought I did, um, but I don't know if I did. So we've had some weird stuff, happen, and we had Richard Spicek join us in the beginning. So, then I had camera problems, and I'm having camera problems apparently right now. I'm not sure what happened.
Oh,
I think it disconnected. Hmm.
maybe it'll come back. 'Cause
Um, yeah. Well, look at that. Never had that happen before. There we go. I think I'm
uh-huh.
back. So you never know
Is,
what's going to happen.
is
So one of
Michael
the
there
things that
already? Or will he tell us
no,
when he
he's
comes?
not there
Okay.
yet. What do you say?
Okay.
Of course. Wait. Wonderful. Of course.
Of course. See, I know he's swift. He's swift.
You're so excited. You're so
I thought he
excited.
would be there. Oh my.
While we're waiting for him, I think what we'll do is you came up with a title for us to write on.
Oh
You got
yeah.
that
Uh
ready
oh.
by chance?
I should have. I should have had it separate, but I'm gonna go in my phone and hopefully he can get it. Okay. I may
Okay,
be gone,
yeah,
but you
we
just,
might just hear you. You mean?
you may just hear. You may not see me. Okay.
Okay, all right.
Can you
So
still
this,
hear me?
yep, she came up with the
Okay.
title, and what was the title?
As summertime ends, are you going to read yours first, or I am?
No, I want you to read yours first.
As summertime ends, cool, serene Caribbean breeze fills airway. Folks hoping cool island breeze is here to stay. Mother and sister and brother daydream about their fun vacations, spending quality time together in hopes to improve family relations. Time to go shopping for school supplies and latest back to school fashions. For now, I'm gonna be wearing my new dress, jeans, and designer jackets. Mom gets up early to fix delicious breakfast and lunch for everyone. We rush to finish eating and gather all we need for a day filled with learning and fun. Labor Day comes and we find a way to have last time to cook out. Change of season, colorful autumn leaves gives us something to marvel and shout about. As summertime ends and fall time comes in all around the world, parents and teachers make learning and reading fun for all our boys and girls.
Bravo.
As summertime
And
ends.
great, great. Loved it. You know, I did one, I called it my coma poem. I think I was in a coma. I did two. So I did my coma poem, which I won't read, and I made a much shorter, different one. There are a couple of similarities in our poems. So
So you go ahead and read that poem. I want to
mine's
hear it.
really mine's really short, but I loved yours. I loved yours. It
Thank
was
you.
very, and you're going to see the little similarities. Mine's very short. So as summertime ends, another year's season is gone. Leaves will blanket the ground. Delayed
Oh,
becomes the dawn. As time, at times the heat unbearable, welcomed is a cool relief. Fall's colors of changing leaves, coveted the golden leaf. Children will return to school, continuing studies they partake. Their breath now seen in early morn, occasional spotted flake. Once scantily clad in summer, people now adorning coats. Maritime crews, sails now deflated, the docking of their boats. Ocean's beaches, once crowded, now are desolate and
having
bare.
trouble connecting is
Straw
often
hats.
caused by an unstable internet connection.
We can hear
Move
you
closer to
and
your
see you.
router if you're on Wi-Fi.
Can you hear me? I can still see you and hear you. Ocean beaches, once crowded, now are desolate and bare. Straw hats, once shading
Ice.
faces, had tamed the flowing hair. Time's continuing journey, the wise and aged find no days to lend. The seasons will come and go, reminded as summertime ends. Yeah, I can hear you. I can
Very
hear you.
nice. Very nice. You had your face had gone off the screen for a while.
Oh, did it? I know I must be having my own little issues with my camera tonight. So he says he loves us all, and he said, of course, about something, but he's not joined us yet. So
So
um,
how would he join? Michael, are you available?
I gave him the link. I sent him the link. So um, I'll leave it up to you to. I'll send it to him again, but I'll leave it up to you to invite him again
Okay.
verbally now.
So Michael, if you get that separate link, not the one that everyone received, but the one that Annette just sent you, then you'll be able to come on the screen with us. We want to hear that poem that you were just telling me about the other day. I said, I'm going to hear that poem soon.
Very good. So tell us a little bit more about your activities with poetry and what you do. I know that you have done so many things and are acclaimed. And if you can share a little bit of that with us, I'm going to give the stage to you and tell us a little bit about Lady Di.
Well, poetry is my passion. They call me the love poet. And it's not just romantic. Of course, that's some of it, but love of nature, oh, the love of my family, the love of God, the love of optimism and being positive, the love of the little children and teaching them. That's the love poet. I've written three books you may have seen. Forever in Your Eyes is the first one, dedicated to Dr. Maya Angelou. The second one is Cooking Up South. It's Southern recipes learned in the nation's capital. And the third one, which was premiered May 18th of 2024, so a couple of months ago, is A Kiss of Curiosity. And I say, read this book and you'll know more of who I am. So that is this book, A Kiss of Curiosity. Um, Things that I do, I
Oh,
perform with one of my groups called Collective Voices, which I am one of the original co-founders of the group. It was three of us, Billy O'Cara, Sister Joy, and Lady Di. We did have a couple of other people that were in the group too. We traveled as far as London, England together. That was a really, well, Collective Voices is still together now. We started that back in the early 90s, and we're still together and still performing together. And you can contact any one of us, contact me at this point. And if you'd like to have us come out to your church or your school, we do workshops. Then we have another group that a number of us are in. I think it's probably maybe 20, 30 people. Poets empowered to nurture souls. The Pens. Poets empowered to nurture souls. And that's out of the Ebenezer AME Church in Fort Washington on Allentown Road. And I think we have 3 or 4 programs a year. I think the next one is coming up next month in October. If We celebrate like Arts and Humanities Month. Then I belong to another group called Voices of Woodlawn, and we are 4 poets that bravely went to a plantation and prayed our way there. It was not an easy thing to do. What I want to say about it, felt the presence of our ancestors as soon as we stepped on the grounds. I think we all did. We all wrote that day. I think the gentleman, Patrick Washington, I think he came back and wrote because that first day he just said it wasn't setting well with him. But he's still in that group. And so the other person that we both wrote is Diane Wilborn Parks. And she wrote that day, and she's also a visual artist. We have a lot of art around us, and I think I was talking to Annette about my sister Karen. Karen's an artist, has so much artwork, just draws beautiful pictures. Um, I have a lot of her paintings. I should have bought one to hold up, but you can check Karen out on Instagram and Karen Beverly and Instagram and Facebook, I believe. And I keep thinking of groups, but I do a lot of things individually and in addition to being in a group. I recently, a composer saw me on YouTube reading one of my poems. It was Poetry X Hunger. That's another group that I'm in. And it was a poem about how we could end hunger, helping to end hunger in the world internationally. And he got in touch with me and asked me could we collaborate. And he wrote a music score to my poem entitled Pitch In, and the music sounds like my voice. And it was with, he had a choir sing it, and he had classical musicians play the music score.
is
So
that
that was,
something that is on YouTube? You said. Did you say?
Let's see. The poem is on YouTube, but I don't know the the mm, the classical music that he set, and all that is my poem, my words in the song. It's a 12-minute
Yeah.
song, and it's on the CD. That's
Um,
out there for purchase through Cedille, I think it is. Cedille, Cedille Records in Chicago.
very
Um,
good.
that premiered from the Cedille. They premiered that May 10th, but on May 18th, I premiered it along with Kiss of Curiosity. So I had the CD and my book at my book signing. And you can still contact me if you're on Facebook. I would use Sylvia Beverly. You will see me on there several times, but for my attention, you need to contact Sylvia Beverly. And I'm not even going to say the other names that are out there, but they are not. They are me, but they're not active.
Okay.
Very seldom do I go on those other ones. So Sylvia Beverly there, and then I'm on Instagram also, and that's Lady Di on Instagram.
Very good.
And I'd like for Annette to ask me something else.
Well, I actually was going to ask you to recite a couple of poems for us. So once you recite a couple of poems, we'll come back and chat. Now, before you go off to that to reciting, um, I know he's seen my message and he's not signing on. So Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram hasn't been on here for quite a while. So Sylvia and I are doing like an encore clapping, asking you to come back. So encore, encore.
Yes,
So if
we
you could
are.
come in and give us your presence. So I'm going to give the screen back to you. Why don't you share two pieces and then we'll come back.
Okay. Well, I found out the other day from chatting with Dr. Michael that his favorite poem so far in A Kiss of Curiosity is entitled Let the Wind Blow. So I'm honored to share that for the first time, my voice, other than just it being in my new book. It's called Let the Wind Blow. Where the wind blows, there are warm, gentle breezes, like a balmy zephyr felt in heat of midday summer. Soothes my aching body, comforts my lonely soul, delights my loving heart, tenderly reminds me of vacationing in Aruba with my darling dear family, where the wind blows constant in Aruba. No need for sun hats and fedoras. They would only be left to steady winds flying high across ocean breeze skies. Where the wind blows, God's blessings grace me with divine health. I feel wealth of my soul being, happy to witness footprints in the sand, looking over my shoulder. Where the wind blows, each bated breath I take, there is strong, refreshing intake, allowing mindful support for my challenged lungs. And
Beautiful,
I'm
beautiful.
thankful to Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram for bringing that poem to my attention because there's 150 poems in this book, more than most poetry books have, and I have a tendency, well, because I'm constantly writing poems and still writing. I'm writing. My next cookbook is love poems and recipes, so I'm writing those, and some of them are already written. And I don't remember every poem that I say, oh, that made the book. Oh, that didn't make the book. So after I do the cookbook and love poems, I'm going to actually do another. I have enough poems to do another whole book of poems. And then some more books are in mine also, and some are partly written. Let's see, what will I read next? What did I want to read? I'll read a poem. Let's see, I better go back. There it is. There it is. It's called Poet Lady. Now, another one of my poet partners, friend, Bernardo, he's in Collective Voices with us. That's what I wanted to say, that Collective Voices is now Sister Joy, Billy O'Cara, and Bernardo and Lady Di. Bernardo told me that one of the poems that he liked in A Kiss of Curiosity is Poet Lady. And I said, really? Oh, I wrote that for one of my professors. We were having tea together, and he asked me, had I written a poem about me? Have you written a poem about yourself? So that's Poet Lady. Here it is. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere, all around, both feet on ground. She's a poet, confident, self-assured, and unafraid.
Whoops, not sure what happened, Lady Di. We lost you, your camera. Um, so we'll wait to see if she comes back. Let me see if I can. Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram, this would be a good time for you to come on so we could save the show in between technical difficulties. So let me go ahead and text Sylvia. Your visual is out. Go out and come back in. Can't see you or hear you anymore. So, Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram, it would help greatly if you came in right now. So I'm just saying. I think since she's gone and I'm all by myself and we are live, there, really out by myself. I will just recite something perhaps real quick that I've recently written. Um, I'm not sure what it'll be. I wrote this one recently. It was kind of a farewell thing. Um, I don't really see it as having finality in it, but perhaps it does. It's called Farewell. Farewell to negativity. You are not my friend. Undercurrents of evil, ill wishes you send. Farewell to self loathing. I embrace me. A wonderful person in the core, I see. Farewell, restless nights when sleep I can't find. I will not take heed to ruminations of the mind. Farewell to thoughts of wanting for more. Happiness is within, not behind the next door. Farewell to the past. You are behind me now. You've haunted me enough. Take your last bow. Farewell to the illusion that true love exists. How many missed opportunities have I missed? When the day is done, the last clang of the bell, I will bid all adieu in my last farewell. So farewell. And we are still waiting for someone else to come on. Um, it is just me. This is Lady Di's show. So she had some problems signing in earlier. So hopefully she will be able to join us. And there she is. I think I see her. So I'll bring her back on. Yay!
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Things,
Someone rang my phone. I'm on my phone.
yeah. And then it kind of
Oh,
knocked you. Oh, he says he's trying to sign in.
Dr.
So,
Michael,
yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to sign in.
But sometimes you have to take the link and put it in and copy and paste it and put it in your browser and enter that way if you're listening to
That's
me.
how I entered it.
Yeah. So
I
sometimes if
en-
you click on it, it doesn't work. You have to copy and paste and put it into the browser and enter that way. So
that's what I had
hopefully
to do.
you're finding this. Those are beautiful poems. I think you got kind of knocked off on that last one. Where the Wind Blows was really very beautiful, and I can see why he likes that so much. And your new poetry book, which I wish I would have known about when I bought this other book because I just got that about a week ago. 150 poems, you said?
Yes.
You're very generous. That's wonderful.
May I read a little more of Poet Lady?
Please do. Please do. Do you want to start it over again?
Okay. I hope we can get through it. She's here. She's there. She's everywhere. All around, both feet on ground. She's a poet. Confident, self assured, dependable, oh so dedicated. She moves with sinuous grace, curving, twisting, meandering, taking her time as she sways and sachets at her very own pace. Quality is priority, even if she doesn't win the race. She's a poet. Pisces, the fish, glides, slide over, under, through rough waters, builds bridges connecting youth and elders. Highly competitive, moving ambitiously into our future, creating new traditions, documenting our history. She's a poet. Family, love, and togetherness means so much. Unity is very important, more than one way to keep in touch. Glancing back to recognize and celebrate our past, happy for courage and strength of our ancestors. Oh, how fond memories last. She's a poet. Perseverance, dedication, devotion, and love, covered with hope and faith, giving God the glory above. Praising God's holy name, all He has for you is yours. All your successes are inside. Gotta stay focused to recognize. She's a poet. Yum, yum, she's a chef and a baker too. Authenticity, pure and true. State your favorite dish, she will cook it for you. Some like her sweet potato pie and TLC lemon pound cake best. Others leave oatmeal raisin, chocolate chip, peanut butter, snickerdoodle, ginger, or sugar cookies to test. Another fave is her mango salmon. Oh, how it melts in your mouth. Try chicken and dumplings and homemade dumplings, nothing but the truth. She's a poet. Work hard, play hard, reading good books for knowledge and fun. Keeping a dream in her heart, encouraging others to dream. Dream big, recognize dreams come true. Yes, she's a poet. And dedicated to my friend, Professor Tom Crackmaker Esquire,
Very good.
in
Very
case
good.
he goes on YouTube to hear it.
Very good. Well,
Thank you.
I think he's still trying, and hopefully he'll be able to rectify the situation. We'll be graced by his presence. I'm going to send him the link one more time, and we'll see what happens. But things always happen in this little technical difficulty world. So I think I remember from last time, but correct me if I'm wrong. I was thinking that was your mother a poet?
Well, my mom and dad were poets in their own right. As far as they were poets to us, they recited poetry. That's what we did in our household. So that was one thing that brought my interest to poetry. My dad used to recite Paul Laurence Dunbar. He used to wake us up with that poem in the morning. Liza, Liza, bless the Lord. Don't you know these days are broad? Bet you better get up, you scamp, or there'll be trouble in this here camp. Look at your head. It looked like just like a feather bed. Bet if I come across that floor, you won't have no time to snow. So Daddy used to do that, and he used to
Um,
do Little Brown Baby, but he used to do a number of Paul Laurence Dunbar, and he and mom would be in competition on, just how much literature and poetry and quotes that they knew and who said them. So mommy did a lot of Shakespeare. She loved Shakespeare. And then we started reading Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And then mommy bought us, let's see, Robert Louis Stevenson, A Child's Garden of Verses. So we used to pick our poems out of there and say which one was ours. And mine was The Swing. And from 5 years old to now, how would you like to go up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it's the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Up in the air and over the wall till I can see so wide, rivers and trees and cattle and all over the countryside. Till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown. Up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down. That's my poem.
I love that. That is great. That is great.
And
I
that's the last book I read to mommy because I didn't have
hmm.
our original copy. So I said, Mommy, I'm going to get Robert Louis Stevenson so I can read some of those to you. And she said, okay, baby. And I got it, and I read a number of them to her on her last days.
Oh,
Yes,
that was very special for her.
I
So
know she's my number one fan.
yeah, and she really and they instill that within you. That's wonderful, wonderful. So as kind of things went along and more evolved as far as poetry was concerned, and African Americans really started to lend their voice and become well known for their poetry. Did that influence you at all?
Oh, yes, Dr. Maya Angelou is my hero. Gil Scott Heron was another one of my professors that gave me a lot of courage, a lot of confidence that I could be a writer, that I was a good writer. It took me 20 years to tell him that I didn't like the grade that he gave me. I saw him at Blues Alley, and he let me come into his dressing room, and he said, "So what paper are you writing for?" And I said, "Oh, I wasn't writing for a paper." He said, "You were writing the whole show," and I said, "Yeah, well, that was just for myself." But I really came to tell you that I didn't like the grade that you gave me. It's like 20 years passed. He said, "What grade did I give you?" I said, "You gave me a B." He said, "Well, B is a good grade in Gil Scott's class." He said, "It's not a good grade for me because always got 100% in English. I always got A's in English. So I didn't like that grade."
Welcome, welcome, Dr.
Hey,
Michael Anthony Ingram.
buddy. Oh, buddy.
We are
Oh,
so
my buddy.
excited to have you.
Red, black, and green. He's ready all the time. I told you he's ready if he don't get to go. He don't.
Hello, hello, hello from Washington, D.C. How are you both?
Oh.
We're better now
Hey.
that you're here.
Oh.
Happy Lady Di, you knock me out every time. Annette Tarpley, you're exquisite. What can I
Uh-huh.
say? Two
Oh,
of my
Well,
Michael.
favorite people, favorite poets. It's wonderful to see.
well,
It's
you know
wonderful to
how
see
we
you
feel
too.
about you. You know how we feel about you.
Michael. I don't know who else I would share my show with.
And that is,
I didn't even. I didn't tell you I had that in my mind, did I? I didn't tell you I had that in my
for some
mind.
reason, your audio is going in and out. We heard you really good.
What about now? Is that better?
Yeah, that's good. That's
Okay,
good.
good. I was laughing, so I laugh like a wild man, but especially when I'm happy. It's just so
Yeah.
good to see you. This makes me happy.
You know, one
That's
of
what
these
keeps me
days, people, I'm going to build a poetry retreat, and I hope you will come. So, and it might be
I'll
sooner
come.
than later. Huh? You're
I
going to
will
come?
come. Yes.
I need to make it more towards your way, so closer to y'all, because there's a bunch of y'all kind of in the same area. So, kind
It's
of
true.
Virginia, but kind of closer to y'all. But I will build it, and it might even be sooner than later because I have a new job and am blessed with a good check next week. So let's just say,
Really
after
important.
All right.
struggling, after struggling for several months. So I was like, I could build a poetry retreat now. I could pay for the place myself. So I might build it and then you just bring yourself. So it could happen very soon. If I built one for October, would you all come? The end of
Well, I have
October?
a retreat in October. I have a retreat in October. It's the end of October, 25,
Um,
6, 7. One of my groups,
how about the beginning of November?
that would be better, but not
That's a
Thanksgiving because
possibility.
what you
Okay,
say, John?
I'm gonna build it. What'd you say, Doctor?
I said that's a possibility. I've got some
Okay.
travel plans coming up, but and
All right.
actually maybe something really nice in early 2025 would be
I
better, don't
know.
you think? Give
What'd
us
you say,
something
Lady
classy.
Di?
Hmm?
I was thinking that same thing that next year would be better for me also. But in
Yeah,
February, I have a big, I have Black History and it's getting filled up.
Maybe we could do something. I'm trying to think of a time where it'll be maybe warm enough. Maybe May of 2025. What do you think?
that would, yeah,
May.
May's good.
yeah,
May. I'm going to start building it now. I'm going to
yeah.
start looking. One of my favorite things to do is to go on Airbnb and look at great places to stay.
Okay.
So I will build it and they will come. I see I had this fear. This is my fear. I'm going to build it and I'm going to be there all by myself and I'm going to be podcasting with my camera saying, "Here I am. Look at this big place. There's nobody here. There's just me."
Well, that
You have a
happens to
whole
me
lot
all
of
the
people
time.
now. You have to advertise it. You have a lot of people that would like to come.
Yeah. You look really good, Michael.
No, I've not been well. I've not been well. So take me as
You're
I am.
looking good.
Take me
Well,
as I am. It's been rough.
we
Been
are
rough.
taking you and we send prayers to you that you're going to get
Thank you.
better and see better
I
days.
appreciate it. I accept all of them. Send more.
But even you're not well is looking good. So look at
Yes.
you. Because when I'm not well, I don't look that good. So I'm just saying.
Can't hear you. Wow. Can you
Yeah,
hear
it's
him,
still,
Annette?
yeah, I can't hear him. It's muffled again.
I'm on
Uh,
my phone. I'm on my phone. That's why this is happening.
there you go. We got you.
So I'm
Got
on
me
mine
again?
too.
Yeah, okay. I'm holding it in my hand. So let's hear some more
There it
poetry.
is.
Lady Di.
Michael, let's
Lady,
hear that poem I want to hear.
Well, what
Your
I'd like to do, when you started, you talked about being a young girl and discovering poetry. And Annette, I'm sure you were the same way, being young. So I wrote a poem many years ago, and I'd like to, it will be my world debut here tonight. Um, it's
I'm giving
about,
the stage to you.
all right, then. Do you both remember being, let's see, let me calm down. Let me slow down. Do you both remember when we were in school and we had to take those school pictures when
Yeah,
they
yeah. Yes.
yeah.
dress up to
Yes.
go to school with your good suit on, take pictures? So this is one that I wrote that's going to be mine in my upcoming collection. And the title of the collection is now, it had always been When Cherry Blossoms Fall on Black Skin, but I've changed the name. Now it's Metaphorically Screaming with Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram. That's the title.
Mm.
So, and it's divided into three sections: in my mind, in my life, and in my time. Those are the three sections. So I've been working on it around the clock for the first time since I've had time. So talk amongst yourselves until I find it. I've got to look for it again. Hold on.
We are just enjoying seeing your handsome face. So you just go
Well,
right
That's right.
ahead and
so
He's
it
speaking
has
for both of
truly,
us.
life throws us all kinds of curveballs, good ones, bad ones, and different ones, but we have to keep rolling, you
yes,
know?
sir. Yes, sir.
We have to keep going.
Indeed.
I thought that was a poem.
No, 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 that was me.
You are a poem.
Share another one, Lady Di. Share another one, and then while I'm looking, I thought I had it up, but somehow I can't
Lady,
find it.
Lady Di, go ahead.
Okay, this poem was written for me No, let's see. I wrote this poem after one of my fans and friends. She was swimming, doing a swimming, what you call it, marathon, and I was her dedicated. She dedicated her swimming that day to me. Guess if that makes sense. The title of the poem is "Swimming a Mile for Me." Honoring me feels like a standing ovation. Swimming a mile for me, a phenomenal dedication. I am chosen one. They say I am cancer free.
Mhm.
Feels overwhelming. I try my best not to cry. My eyes filled with glassy tears, tears lay on the rim of my eyes, run down my each cheek. Tears seem happy, seeking celebration of my survival of breast cancer. Honoring me feels like a standing ovation. God continues to spread his awesome light, his everlasting love. God is carrying me through. Over my shoulder, I see one set of footprints in sand. Floating in cool of autumn breeze, I fall to my knees, give thanks for my friend honoring me. Asking God to keep her safe, asking God to let her feel good with each stroke she takes, thanking God for her bravery. Honoring me feels like a standing ovation, swimming a mile for me. I write this poem celebrating her victory, celebrating my 1 year anniversary of self detection. She's a breast cancer survivor too, an awesome support teamer. Throughout my breast cancer journey, sharing from her heart with kindness, knowledge, and love. Honoring me feels like a standing ovation. Let confetti flow across bright, sunny skies, west to east, enlightening nations. Dedicated to Liz LaRue. And if you know Hiram, that's Hiram's sister. She and I became friends, and she's a breast cancer survivor also.
Standing ovation, standing ovation.
Thank you.
So, your poetry is always so beautiful and so heartfelt, Lady Di.
See, that's one that I haven't read, and since whenever, that was like I wrote that poem. It's at 1 year, 2.5 years ago, and
Wow.
that's one I hadn't gone back to since. But just
Beautiful.
slipping in there and seeing her name, that's how special she is to me.
Very good.
She
Now,
really aided me.
does his sister,
Hmm?
does his sister, the woman that you dedicated to, does she also write? She a writer?
She writes too, but not. She says not like Hiram, not the way that Hiram and I do. But we convinced her to join a international poetry line. During COVID, we all were in Ireland every Friday morning on Zoom, and so she was joining that with us and sharing poetry. But most of the time, she would select a poet, and read their poem. But
Very good.
she's very um, artistic. She's the artist also.
Very
She
good.
bakes. She's a cook. She's a chemist. She makes all these wonderful um, herb. Um, what I want to say, balms. Like butter balms, shea
Hmm.
butter mixed with CBD oil, and just healthy,
Oh,
healthy.
medicinal kind of stuff. Medicinal stuff, huh?
Yes, healthy, healthy.
Yeah. So we have a comment from Ty, who's one of our regulars lately. Hi, Ty, and a friend of mine. So
Oh, okay.
thanks for watching. Did you
Hi,
find
Ty.
did you find your piece, Michael?
Yes, I did. All
Yeah.
right.
All
Can you hear
right.
me?
Yeah.
All right. This is
Yes.
the first time. This is brand new. And the title is The Cameraman and Tina Dukes. My mama let me wear my Sunday shoes to school today. A big old man with a big camera and a light blue backdrop is coming to school to take our school pictures. My mama wants to put the oldest and the largest picture in a huge frame in the Bible on the third page with all the other pictures of family members and other distant relatives, relatives that she often talks about, yet we never ever visit. Didn't I tell you not to put your shoes too close to the kerosene heater, boy? How many times did I tell you, son? They'll catch fire. I know you like wearing those nice shoes and you like them nice and warm on the inside, but fire is fire, son, and it'll ruin a good pair of leather shoes. She
Mm-hmm.
yelled from the kitchen. I'm not really listening to what my mom is saying. My daddy's sitting in the den. He's asleep because I know I'm going to be wearing my Sunday shoes to school tomorrow because my Sunday shoes are calling my name.
Uh-huh.
They're a pair of black lace-ups with small metal plates on the heel, metal plates that gleefully tapped out our rhythms and seemed to grow louder each time on Sunday morning when I proudly walked down the church's hardwood aisles to put my hard-earned 50 cent in the collection plate. Everybody's dressed for school today. Tina Dumas in her purple dress and her big sister's cream-colored high-heel shoes. She looks like her no-good mama had fixed her hair. Poor Tina. She didn't stand a chance in this world of being anything. That's what my grandma always said. When she was at Mr. General Lee's liquor store drinking and playing numbers, that's what my grandma almost said. At least that's what I overheard her say sometimes in the middle of the night. You see, my grandma was always in church on Sunday. Mama and Miss Johnny May would sit close and talk about the goodness of the Lord and his power to save those still out in the world. As I walked toward the school bus, the smell of perfume and cologne permeated the air. Damn, I said, it's starting to rain. I hope my Sunday shoes will dry out before I get to school, and that man with that big camera and light will take my picture. If not, I wonder if Mama will let me wear my Sunday shoes to the school dance next Tuesday night. Tina Dooms is going with me. All right, that's it. I gotta work on it. I gotta
Wow.
work on it. I gotta work on it.
Lady Di, unmute yourself. You had a little bit of feedback, so I muted you. But wow,
That's
don't
okay.
you love you some Michael? Don't
That
you
was
love you some
wonderful,
Michael?
Michael. I loved it. It could be a story. It could be a it could be a
I'll work on it.
story book.
Can't y'all see that being dressed up to go to school, having your suit on and your nice little dress and your shoes, the man or whoever it was to take those pictures, and you
You know
people
what
put the
the
pictures
thing is,
in the Bible.
when you were reciting that, I was looking at your face, and the mustache went away, and I could see your boy face. I could see it in my mind, what you must have been like when you were, posing for those lovely pictures that we used to pose for, huh?
In my book, I've got a picture of myself, probably maybe I was 8 or 9, and that's going to accompany that particular poem. The
Yes,
cameraman
it's
and Tina
good.
Doers. Talk to
I
me.
love that.
Those times when, for me, that was a highlight to get dressed up. To wear
Yeah,
my Sunday clothes to school.
yeah. And then I think they only took like one picture, right? And then if it came back bad and you have your eyes half closed, that was your picture. So, yeah. Oh, those were the days, those lovely school pictures. Everyone had the same background and, smile. Um, so, Lady Di, you want to unmute
Yes.
yourself? Go ahead and comment, and then I want you to present another one as well. But I'm so glad that you presented that. It was marvelous, marvelous. Loved it.
Like I said, I think that poem can go beyond that. It could be a children's book, or you could take it for adults or for children. It may be all age, but you could write more to that. More to that. You could talk about once you saw that poem, once you saw that photo, and how happy you were, and you wished that those shoes could have been in the picture, something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah,
You
you can
can make
take
it
that
a
a lot of
novel.
ways.
You can make it a novel, and it can be in movies someday. So,
That
But
is
that's
so
why I'm here.
wonderful.
All right.
That's wonderful. I didn't
Lady
know
Di,
that.
do you want to share another one? And then, Michael, if you wouldn't mind sharing another one, that would be wonderful as well.
I'd
While we
like to
got,
hear one of
How long
yours
are we
too.
gonna?
what'd you say, sir?
I'd like to hear one of yours too.
Who's mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. While I'm looking for
Um,
one.
oh gosh, I don't know. Um, I'll do one from memory. Yeah, I'll do one from memory. This is I don't know if you've ever heard this one. This is my kind of signature poem. It's about bullying because I was bullied as a child. It's called The Ballad of Ned. It's what I want to do my novel on someday. Um, Long ago, and oh so far away, in the deep throes of the South, lived a man named Ned, a gentle soul, born with a deformity of the mouth. Through the years, it's been said that his mama sheltered him from harm. He grew up caring for the land and animals on an old country farm. Then the time came for him to go off to school, an atmosphere of unrest. His mama packed his lunch, walked him to the bus, and whispered, Mama loves you best. The children teased and taunted him. They were mean and downright cruel. He was bullied all day, but nothing was done. The school had no set rules. After school, he walked home alone, tears streaming down his face. When he finally got home, Mama wiped away his tears, greeting him with a warm embrace. She said, Son, I declare I taught you better. I told you you're covered with armor. You're protected in blood. You're a child of God. You're not merely the son of a farmer. The next day he went to school. He stood up taller, a confident smile on his face. He went to the front of the class, approached the chalkboard. In the writings he began to erase. With the chalk he wrote, God is love. I am love. And my love I extend to you. Tears rushed down the teacher's face, falling down the cheeks of students too. From that day forward, no one bullied the sweet, young, and disfigured Ned. He grew up with a life full of love and always remembered what his mother had said.
Wow.
All right. Unmute yourself, Lady Di. There
Such
you
a power.
go. I wish I could unmute her, but I don't think I can. Unmute. I didn't think I'd have that power, but so she's working on that. Oh, she went back in and out. So that's the
Right.
Ballad of Ned. Were you ever bullied when you were little?
Oh, of course, of course. I mean, I was very overweight, and it was just a bad time. You know that old expression about how sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. You know this. It's just the opposite.
Yes, yes,
Sticks and stones that heals. But those
yes,
words, especially when you're young and impressionable and you don't know any better about
yes.
anything in the world, but what other people tell you, you know, that makes it tough in it. That makes it
Now,
tough.
see, you were overweight, and I was very, very thin when I
Were
was
you?
younger. So I was very thin, and I was always teased about that. I got a lot of feedback from you, Lady Di. Um, so I was always teased a lot about being very thin and, having no breasts. Everyone else did, I didn't.
Right.
So I won't tell you what it was I said one time about that. But anyway, so my sister was blessed where I wasn't. And so she always got a lot more attention than I did. So I figured if a boy was paying attention to me, he must really like me for me, maybe. So, but yeah, I was teased a lot and bullied and, kicked at, they spit, in my hair. People coming to my house wanting to beat me up. And
Oh,
why? Because I was a new kid on the block. And I think usually the boys paid attention to me just because I was a new kid on the block.
Right.
So, Who knows why people do things. The funny thing is I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I ran into one of my former bullies that later became my friend. There's two girls that came hung together, and one was really rough, and the other one was kind of quiet and shy. And the quiet, shy one got a hold of me, and wanted to know what I was up to and so forth. And I said, "Hey, whatever happened to so and so?" The kind of rough one. And she told me that she was like a roller derby queen. So I was like, "Oh, she's still bullying, in her adulthood." Going around pushing people, on the skating rink. But Lady Di, go ahead and unmute yourself, darling, and you recite for us if you would.
Well, I'm in my multi-purpose room of my building, and some people, no one was in here at first, and some people came in. So anyway, I closed the door of the partition between us. So now I have it to myself again.
All right, beautiful.
Okay. My dad, honorable man. I want to honor my dad, Montfort Point Marine, doing what he can to gain dignity for our race. Dignity and pride, bravery for sure. During World War II, he helped to integrate this noble branch of service. Throughout years, with wondrous cheers, we thought strict discipline came from our great grandfather. Now we know from gold medal and certificates he received, a great portion of his style came from the United States Marines. The few, the proud, we are looking for a few good men, mighty fully fulfilled when Dad joined the Marines. A force to be reckoned, neat and clean, shoes polished, hair combed, nice bright white shirt worn daily. Think well of self with strong dignity and pride. Confidence will not hide. Forever stating, I'm no better than anybody. Nobody is any better than me. Let it be told posthumously. Received the framed letter of recognition and appreciation from President Barack Obama. Yes, Dad was a mighty good man, doing the best he can, working two jobs, all the overtime at hand, taking immaculate care with phenomenal love, ardent dedication for 9 children and his darling wife. Here's to you, my father, for greatness in you and all you taught us with your daily affirmations. Hard work never hurt nobody. Walking is not crowded. Laziness will kill you. Do your best or not at all. Thank you, Daddy, for taking good care of me. Thank you for always being there for me. Thank you for your words of wisdom even when I could not see. Oh, Daddy dear, rest in peace. I know I will always be Daddy's girl, dedicated in memory of the late Daniel Levi Beverly Sr. I'll
Marvelous.
always
What a
be Daddy's
beautiful,
girl.
Yeah, I love
beautiful
always like
tribute
that
to your father.
so beautiful. Fitting
Thank
tribute. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Hmm.
Now she went out again, her camera. So she might have somebody calling her because that happened earlier.
Right, 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 right,
So,
right.
do you have another one ready for us while we're
Waiting. Yeah, I can share another one. This one is this kind of goes back to childhood, and this one, and I think I shared it on your show the last time, a couple of years ago when I was on, and still you need to be a guest on my show. Remember? No, it's like all right, all right. This one is titled "To Live a Life in Less Than a Lifetime Takes Less Than a Lifetime to Live." And when I share this poem on stage or wherever I've traveled, it usually packs a punch because the poem is about, and I know you shouldn't always share what the poem is about, but I am. It's about a child dealing with mental illness and feeling as if he or she is aged as a consequence of that beyond their years. And in the second stanza, it's when I turn the poem onto the other person and I'm attempting to develop empathy between us, a bridge between us. So this is to live a life in less than a lifetime. To live a life in less than a lifetime takes less than a lifetime to live. I should know. You see, I became a man long before it was the master's plan. As a child, I was up and down, inside and out, round and about. Sometimes I want to show, excuse me, sometimes I want to throw my head back and shout and say, "Stop the world, Lord, and let me be." Why can't I age peacefully? Yet my childhood was snatched in what seemed to be the twinkling of an eye. Or maybe it was due to that psychological bruise that still lingers on my thigh. I can't remember. Did it occur in late May or early December? All I know is that my childhood is gone, and I want God to tell me what went wrong because I lived a life in less than a lifetime, and it took me less than a lifetime to live. What about you? I heard that you too had lived a life in less than a lifetime, and that it took you less than a lifetime to live. Rumor has it that you wanted to remain a child, that you wanted to rest there for a while. Yet, like me, I know that you too have been up and down, inside and out, round and about. Sometimes I've watched you, and it looked like you want to throw your head back and shout and say, "Stop the world, Lord. Please just let me be." Why will you not allow me too to age peacefully? But like me, your childhood was snatched at what seemed to be the drop of a hat. Or maybe it was due to an emotional scar that still festers in the middle of your back. You can't remember. Did it occur in late May or early December? All you know is that your childhood is gone and you wanted God to tell you what went wrong because you lived a life in less than a lifetime, and it took you less than a lifetime to live. It took you less than a lifetime to live. Thank you.
Wow. 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 On my notes now, you know what? I'm going to get some kind of audio thing that does this for me, and then I'll just press play and pretend like I can do this. Um,
Lady Di, let me say, Lady Di. When I think about your writing, and actually both of you, the stories that we share, the positive ones and the ones that are not always so positive, they do reveal who we are as people and why we do what we do, why we continue to do what we do by sharing these stories in the way that we share them to bring people together, to build
Yes,
empathy, to build empathy and understanding between people, you know?
yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. And I think it's good to not always sugarcoat things and to bring the darkness into light too, because I mean it's part of life, right?
It's,
Yes.
mhm.
Yeah, it's part of
My youngest sister started me writing, more some social conscious poetry, and and then I started writing in the voices of my ancestors because
Yeah.
when I was writing nothing but love and just all happy everything, she said, "Well, Dada, everything's not always so peachy creamy like you write." And so I
yeah.
think about her when I decide to write something. That was many
Well,
years
look,
ago, but
Michael, I want you to take a couple minutes, and I want you to be the interviewer and ask Lady Di questions because you're a master at it.
no, I was going to share Lady Di. You shared that story with me about changing or adding to your repertoire of your work. Because I remember when I was in my doctoral program, I was taking a class, it was a family counseling class, and we were required to write a paper on our family history. So I submitted my paper, and the professor said, "Michael, I didn't know that you grew up in Walt Disney World." I was like, okay. He said, "So that's where you grew up, Disneyland?" And from that point, I was like, okay, I need to be real with who I am,
Yeah.
the good, bad, and indifferent,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
But you know, I still seem to, when it's not so good, maybe adverse situations, I still um, conclude them with something positive.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna read this poem. It's
Please
entitled
do.
"Broke Not Broken."
Please do.
Broke Not Broken, and I'm gonna set it up because I had the nerve when what's that that's out there, Uber. When Uber first came out, I applied for it and didn't think that I would be so readily accepted. But I became an Uber driver. Now here I am, one that's always getting rides and being chauffeured everywhere, and I'm out there driving people around. Well, the Pope came in town this morning. I would go out early in the morning for because you made more money when you did rush hour. So I would drive in the rush hour, and they rerouted us all over the place, all around, from where any area away from where the Pope was going to be. And I don't know, I ended up somewhere downtown DC before I, you know, got a call for my first person. But as I was in the DC area, Northwest Washington, this whole poem came to my mind from what I witnessed. Broke, not broken. Nowhere to lay, nowhere to rest, nowhere to lay her head, no bed to sleep, standing on Meridian, fear deep, a few inches from busy street, a mighty, mighty, mighty long way and time since she had any food to eat. Appreciating open bottle of water, helping to combat her thirst, her serious thirst, an intense heat, an act of kindness, an act of love, a show of care. But for the grace of God, I go there. Sign she carried read, broke, not broken.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So that came out of, I imagine that while you did that, Lady Di, and you were doing that job, that it was quite, you learned probably quite a lot about people and
Oh,
so
yeah.
forth
I didn't do
during
it that
that.
long though. I just wanted to see could I do it. I did it while
Okay.
it was fun, and then I said, let me quit while I'm ahead.
Did you ever recite any of your poetry while you're driving along?
Occasionally I would, but not too often. But occasionally I would. If the conversation that they were engaging me in and so forth led to that, I would do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What was your, did you have any kind of job, Dr. Michael, as regarding, did you have any kind of job that was interesting like that, where you could really study the human
No,
nature?
not really. Not really. When I first graduated from was it undergraduate school, I had a job as I was had to dress as a hostess Twinkie at a grocery store. So I had to wear
You were a Twinkie?
this Twinkie suit and pass out Twinkies to the people who would. It man, what are some grocery stores today? I don't know any anymore than Harris Teeter, but but I've got a
Wegmans.
companion piece to that to you for you, Doctor. So I'm running out of steam. But I've got a companion piece to that poem, my friend, about hunger, and the title is Belly. There's another one from the childhood. They moved into adulthood, just like that piece. It's called Belly. This is my hunger poem. You've got a big old stomach. Daddy often said to me, your eyes are bigger than your belly. Mama automatically added,
Mm-hmm.
fueling the fire in my churning stomach. So I believe that food was made to be madly eaten, gobbled, and gorged like the corpulence that reigned in the court of King Henry VIII. Yet I'm not hungry anymore, Mama. Reaching adulthood, I stopped eating food. Now Life is the only thing I ingest daily. Every day, I force it down my throat, sometimes so fast that it causes the lining of my mouth, esophagus, and my stomach to burn. I choke and foam when reality slides heartlessly down inside my belly. Life has become a daily genocide to my taste buds. My nostrils are assaulted each day by its pungent odor. Sometimes I back bend in disgust. My senses scream out for me to stop eating, to stop gorging, to stop eating so fast. I still sit alone in my bloat, my belly distended. Yet I'm determined to eat life anyway. I don't need water to drink to go along with it. Like oatmeal, I eat mine dry.
Loved it. Loved it. You eat yours dry. Love that. Lady Di's frozen, and there you go. Can you hear us? And she's muted. Let's see. Um, I had one that I was just thinking about, and this is from my first book. It's a very
Okay.
old poem. So this is early Annette, but it's called. It teaches lessons. So it's called the Water Mill. Papa, take me to the water mill, his young granddaughter pleaded and whined. She tugged on his trousers and stated, I'm bored. There's nothing to do that I can find. They got in the car and drove to the mill, looking at the scenery in the countryside, the dogwood trees in blossom, the red bud trees looking mighty fine on the ride. As they neared the mill, they looked at the creek that supplied the old country water mill. They got out of the car and raced down to the creek. Papa let her win, for it gave her a thrill. They waded in the creek, looked up at the water mill, its wooden wheel turning in perfect time. The sun shone bright, its beams were a delight, warming them to the core. The feeling was sublime. They sat on the grass, their feet in the creek, as they watched the water cascade off the wheel. He took her he took a handful of water and showed it to her and said, This is life. Touch it and feel. Papa, she said, shaking her head, I don't get what you mean, that water is life. Papa looked down at her. He held her hand and said, Without water, nothing would thrive. Still holding her hand, he said, Everything needs water, people, plants, and animals too. Without it, life would cease to exist. It is the essence of life for all, including you. Years went by. Papa had long since died. His granddaughter was now a grandmother. Her granddaughter said, Nana, can we go to the water mill? I need to get away from my brother. They took the trip. They arrived at the mill, racing immediately towards the creek they ran. Her Nana took some water in a hand and said, This is life. Let me teach you so that you understand. That is it.
Wow. You know, Annette, some years ago, when I first moved here, I wanted to start a program where where people focused on the importance of water conservation through poetry, to write poems about water and maybe
Mm.
establish some kind of relationship with one of the water companies where we just help think about the importance of water, you know,
Touch
because
it
it's a
and feel.
finite
Mm.
resource.
Yeah, it is indeed. It is indeed. Hi, Lady Di. Welcome back. Can you hear
Hello.
us? Good. Did you want to share
I'm
another
here
piece?
now.
Did you want to share another piece?
I'm all sure. I'd like to. Let's see. I decided which one that was going to be. Let's just pick one. This poem is just before the poem that Michael said that he liked best, Let the Wind Blow. The poem just before it is called Racism is Sin.
Mm.
Lean on God for answers. We stand in despair, we stand in desperation. Severe trauma and great challenges can be satisfied. Be faithful, fervent in our actions, singing and praying together, praying daily with all our might. Unity prevails with actions. Take care of the sick, love our neighbors, look after our elders, feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, clothe the naked. We need social action. Strengthen our faith. Hallelujah. Peace, faith, hope, and charity. Love, love, oh love. Speak up, especially in uncomfortable situations. Let us not lead us not into temptation. Become fulfillness in God's forth justice and racism is sin.
Mm.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
It
I'm
is
going again.
indeed. That's a beautiful piece. Thank you for sharing that.
Lady Di, when did
I'm
you
not sure. It
know
says
that
that I'm still there, but I don't see either of you.
Okay, well, we can see you and just keep rolling with it. If you can hear us. Whoop, she's out. So,
okay?
well, you want to keep that question for when she comes back?
Well, no,
Um,
actually I can start with you with the same question. When did you know that you had developed your own unique style as a poet?
I think when I decided to really, well, I think I always kind of knew that
Okay.
when I first decided I was going to write my first book, and I've written very little poetry over the years, but I always knew that I was a writer.
Mm.
And when I first went to go write my book, um, it's funny because Kim B. Miller was on as my last guest, I think, and she and I had this discussion about we have the same belief about when you first start writing. Sometimes it's best not to read other work, not to almost be exposed. For me, I wanted me to develop my own style and not be influenced by other people. And so for a long time when I came into this world, I read very little and listened to very little because I didn't want it to influence. Now, as I've kind of paved my path and then developed and expounded on kind of my style, and not really developed other styles, but really just kind of went out and went beyond my normal just um, path as far as writing. Then I think what has happened is I've become to appreciate and be able to really listen to others without, you know, bringing that into my own. You
Mm.
know, and now I can just appreciate it. That's their style. That's their. And it's really a beautiful thing, as I'm sure you know, Michael, in that everybody has their own little niche, right? Everybody has their own style. And you mentioned earlier about being on your show. All you gotta do is ask. It would be the highlight of my poetry world is to be on your show. So, um, you are I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
I've been asking for how many years? How many? How many
You've been
years?
asking, but you haven't like said okay. Now give me a date.
Well, okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. But now things have kind of slowed down, so I can do some other
We'll,
kinds of things. So,
we'll do it. We'll do it. I would. It would be the highlight. I mean, I would be honored and privileged to be. How you started video, right?
what video of which one?
Your podcast.
Of the one with you?
No, I'm talking about you started your own. When you podcast now, you're not just audio, you're video. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes, I'm finally attempting to go into the video world with YouTube. So first one is coming up next week, next Tuesday night. It's the Tesoro Women's Poetry Network takeover of the podcast. I invited the group on to provide a safe space for women poets, and they phenomenal, phenomenal. If you've never heard the Tesoro Women's Network and
I am
Stacey
familiar
Morris,
with them. I have interviewed some of them.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure, yes, phenomenal, phenomenal poets, and we had an amazing time. So I was finally able to craft an episode to make a debut on YouTube. I'm not
Wow.
in it, thank the Lord, but they're there.
Very
They're there.
good. Lady Di, you're back.
Oh,
He was going
lady,
to ask you,
I
a
Yeah,
question.
yes. My
Hmm.
question to you, and I asked of
keep
Annette,
going there.
when did
Okay.
you first learn to craft your own style, your own
It's
way of
knocking me out
being?
again.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I'm not sure what it is, what the reason is. Maybe it's this room I'm in.
Okay. When did you first develop your own style, your
It
own
says
unique
everyone
style?
can see and hear you, but I don't see you all and I don't hear you all.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, we can hear and see
So,
her.
Michael, I
yeah.
cannot hear your question.
Hmm. Not sure what's going on. Some kind of technical difficulty.
Oh, I
So,
know this.
so it's just the way it is.
It is.
Um,
This is the way it
I
is.
think what we're gonna do is here she comes in again. Here she is. Let's see. Can you hear us?
This is the last time. Are y'all there?
Yes.
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 No. Are you there now?
Yes. Can you hear us and
Yeah,
see
this
us?
is my last time because it keeps going in and out on me.
Yeah.
Michael had a question for me.
Yes. Can you
Michael,
hear me
you had a
now?
question for me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. I wanted
Yes.
to know, when did you first develop your own unique style? How did that come about? That you were Lady Di and nobody else?
The first time I knew that it was really my own unique style was a broadcaster said it to me. And God rest his soul, Brother R on WPFW. The Collective Voices went on there, and there was five of us ladies at the time. And he said, Lady Di is the love poet, and her beat is iambic pentameter in all of her work. And I didn't know that. I was just me. So I'm gonna say that's the first time I recognized it from him, from Brother R telling me that.
All right, beautiful. All right. And from that point, you just finessed it.
And I guess just finessed it, but it's just a natural way. All that I do is by the grace of God,
Mm,
and God gives
beautiful.
me, just readily gives me the subject matter,
Hmm.
or just give me a line, a theme, like what we did. Michael, I don't know if you heard us, Annette and I, in the beginning of the show when we
I
did the
did, but
poem.
would you share it again? Because I walked in it when it first started. I didn't get to hear the entire thing. Please share it again. I'd love for it. I'd love to hear it again.
Okay, well, Annette asked me, said, can we do a poem that you give me the theme and we both write on it? So I said, just right off my head, what's going on right now? As the summertime ends. That's what's going on.
Right. It's true. True.
Cool, serene Caribbean breeze fills airway. Folks hoping cool island breeze is here to stay. Mother and father, sister and brother daydream about their fun vacations. Spending quality time together hopes to improve family relations. Time to go shopping for school supplies and latest back to school fashions. For now, I'm going to be wearing my new dress, jeans, and designer jackets. Mom gets up early to fix delicious breakfast and lunch for everyone. We rush to finish eating and gather all we need for a day filled with learning and fun. Labor Day comes, and we find a way to have last time cookout. Change of season, colorful autumn leaves gives us something to marvel and shout about. As summertime ends and fall comes in, all around the world, parents and teachers make learning and reading fun for all our boys and girls.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, that's a
Uh,
perfect companion piece to that poem I did about the cameraman and Tina Dumas, when you're talking about growing up and doing things with your family. Beautiful. I love that.
That's
I
right.
loved it.
It is.
did you share? Did you
It
even
is, and
share that one?
we didn't even plan it.
Did you share that one?
Go ahead,
Did you share that
Annette.
one? Oh, oh. As far as
I
mine's
wanted you to
concerned,
share yours, Annette.
okay. You know what I want to do? I want to share the other one. I wrote two, and this was the comatose poem I say I wrote. And this one does not rhyme, so I'll share that one. It's actually a different one, but I wrote two on the same theme. This is a summertime ends. There is a coolness in the nighttime air. Summertime will soon end its season. I have lived to see many a summer come and go in my life thus far. Most of those days, the dew on grass rapidly evaporated, erasing all glistening traces. The hot summer sun shining in its daytime glory as people bathed in its radiance. There were fairs to go to, riding on the Ferris wheel high above the crowds, providing a pinnacle view on the grounded onlookers eating cotton candy, some savoring the sweet taste of funnel cakes covered in powdered sugar, sipping and savoring the thirst quenching taste of freshly squeezed lemonade. Some people would flock to beaches, their summertime vacation haven, finding peace and solace in the rhythmic ebb and flow of the tide rolling onto the shore, their feet sinking in the drenched sands littered with shells, sea glass, and jellyfish. Others preferring drier sand with their plumed umbrellas providing them welcome shade. Then there are those like me, preferring a delectable mountainous view in the elevated lands that provide a vista where erected mountains in the background, majestic in their peaked realm, displaying the picturesque view further enhanced with the rising and setting sun. Serenaded at night by crickets and locusts, and greeted in the morning with the songs of the birds. I smile, thinking of all the summers that have provided me with a lifetime of memories, appreciating and relishing each summer and wondering, yes, wondering, as summer time ends, how many more would I be witness to?
Oh, wow.
So that was,
Wonderful.
well, that was the one that people didn't select. They selected the shorter rhyming one. And so I thought maybe it was a poor one, so I put it away and wrote a different one. So
Mm,
yeah.
beautiful.
I like
But
both, but I think I like that one best.
thank you. Thank you for that. I thought it sometimes when I write very often in my delusional sleepy state because I'm very often in that. And I'll even sometimes fall asleep during it. If I'm not careful, I'm writing on my phone and I put my finger on it, I wake up and whatever I wrote is gone. You know.
Oh,
So
I've
yeah.
never done that one.
But that's what got me back into poetry is I was going through my divorce and I went over to girlfriend's. My ex was still living at home. We were separated, but he was still here. I went to my girlfriend's house to stay, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I hadn't written forever. And I wrote whatever on my phone. In the morning, it's, oh my gosh, you got to hear this. Listen to what I wrote, and whatever it was gone because I did this. And I was like, oh, I was crushed. So on the way home, I stopped by Walmart, got pen and paper, and kept stopping along the way. I had an hour and a half to drive home. And I
Wow.
wrote Broken Dreams, which is kind of my, and that's what everybody said, oh my gosh, you need to. I know by heart because it was my therapy as I drove down the road, you know. And remembering reading it to my ex. Here, listen to this. After all, I did write this to you. And then he listened to it. It was very quiet. There was no expression on his face. And I was like, why no expression on your face? I mean, a month ago you were telling me that you love me and I was the only thing for you or whatever, whatever, which I knew was a lie because, actions have to kind of mix with it. So he said, I've divorced you hundreds of times in my mind through the years.
Wow.
So, yeah, um, there you go. So then I thought, okay, well, but he threw me back into poetry, so it was because of him. So thank you for that, my ex. Um, but of course, I have been divorced twice, and of course, I have three wonderful children, of which our son called me today. Thank you, Joel, for calling your mama today and wondering how she was. So,
Good.
so Lady Di, do you have a signature poem?
Yes, I would say I have a couple of signature ones.
Would you like to read one?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Here.
Can you still hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if you can hear me. I don't see either of you now.
You're on solo
It
screen.
says I'm in the show and everyone can see and hear you.
Here, I'm gonna exit so you can see us and
Who
feel more
is
comfortable. Here
everyone?
we are.
Everyone except for Annette and Michael.
Oh, there she goes again. She might not come back, so I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe it's when I put her in that solo mode, it messes things up for her. I don't know. But Michael,
Yes.
oh look, she came back.
All right. All right. All right.
It
This
says,
could be the grand finale for me.
Straight up, I'm not gonna put you in solo
you're
mode because I
still
think
not
that
allowing
messes
me to
things
see
up.
Annette and Dr. Michael. Okay, there you are.
All right.
Can you see us?
Yeah,
Beautiful
there
lady.
you are now.
All right.
Kick me out. I'm getting used to, coming back in a little quicker, even though it's not fun. It's funny, maybe, but not fun. Yeah, some things can be funny, but not fun.
All right.
We can write that poem, y'all.
Yes, we could. We should. We should.
So you asked me about a signature, and I said I had a couple. Um, I'm gonna do my favorite. I'll always be Daddy's girl.
Mm.
It's in Forever in Your Eyes, my first poetry book,
Very good.
dedicated to Dr. Maya Angelou. Forever in Your Eyes. She received a copy of my book, and she wrote me a note and told me how thankful she was to for the dedication of my first book to her. And the note was so sweet. But I have a copy of the note, and I put the original in my first volume of papers at George Washington University. So the Sylvia Diane Beverly papers hold
All
I have two
right.
volumes of work there now. And my first one holds that note that Dr. Maya Angelou wrote me. And I wanted to pull that out and trade them, give them the copy, and I take it. And she said I couldn't take nothing out of my original work, so I had the copy anyway.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Donald Trump took whatever he wanted. So you should just grab your own.
I didn't want to steal it and put the copy in there. So it's still the original is with GW University. But
Wow.
anyway, I'll always be Daddy's girl. I want to dance with my daddy again too. I want to be his little girl, so happy, so true. I want to whisper words and watch Dad smile. I want to hear him say, "Too bad they can't stay small for a longer while." I'll always be Daddy's girl. I want to wake in the morning to Dad's melodic, mellow songs. I want to feel safe and warm and strong as Daddy holds me in his arms. I want to hear him say, "Is everybody happy?" Then send me on a chore saying, "You're not back yet, girl? Make it snappy." I want to listen to Dad's wit and wisdom all night. I want to have Dad hug me and say, "Everything's going to be all right." I want to turn back the hands of time and in my daily life feel Dad's love shine. I'll always be Daddy's girl.
All right, you lived that one.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I
You took on
memorized.
a different aura with
I
that
didn't
one.
read. That's
That's
recitation versus reading.
Yes.
That's why I always tell my students to remember something. I tell all my nieces and nephews and great nieces and nephews now, remember something. Start with a prayer and remember something else. A quote, you can remember something out of one of my books. Memorize something so you always have something to say.
Yes, indeed. I think that one thing that we share in common, Lady Di, is that we both had exceptional fathers,
Yeah.
and fathers that really nurtured us, and fathers that really encouraged us to be the best that we could be. I don't. I think you probably had your father for longer than I had mine. Mine died when I was 17 in a plane crash
Okay.
with my
Mhm.
brother. My dad was 37, my brother was 13. But one of the things that I did recently was I've started to get into writing some song lyrics, however bad they may be. But my first one I did for my father because he was a musician. So it was important for me to, kind of dedicate that first one to him. Would you mind if I play that?
It's fine with me.
Yeah, please.
I think maybe Lady Di will be able to relate relate to it. So I'm
Will,
going to let's see.
will it be
Play.
your voice?
No, it'll be my words, and I put the videos together, but I hired someone to. I can't sing. I never got that.
Okay, okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I never got that.
When I was just a child, you taught me to be strong, be secure yet humble. Importance of right and wrong. There's nothing I couldn't do. Every dream within my reach, believing me more than anyone. Encouraging was your speech. Why did you have to leave me? Daddy, I feel so all alone. Do you look down upon me from your heavenly throne? Best father in the world, had $1 million smile, teaching love and compassion, trying others' shoes for a mile. I was your pile of precious gem. I would make mistakes and fall, life lessons I would learn. Be confident, stand up tall. Why did you have to leave me? Daddy, I feel so all alone. Do you look down upon me from your heavenly throne? You were my best friend, my hero. Could always make me laugh. consequences for action, resilient, withstand the aftermath. You weren't here for very long, but a great impact you had made. Visions I still have of you, sweet memories will never fade. Why did you have to leave me? Daddy, I feel so all alone. Why did you have to leave me? Daddy, I feel so all alone. Do you look down upon me from your heavenly throne?
All right. Thanks for.
Wow, that
Hmm.
was beautiful, exquisite.
Oh, thank you. Thank Ladies Die. I think she's trying to unmute herself, but
I
there
did. I
you
did. I was just. I was mesmerized, and I
Yes.
was. It. I didn't feel a sadness when I did "I'll Always Be Daddy's Girl," but this one brought yours brought tears to my eyes.
yeah.
Mm, 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 mm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think we have loved ones. Michael, your dad, mom, those two, big part of your
Yes,
life.
yes. I've got one for my dad. I've shared it a couple of times, different places, and my dad is still with us. He's 84. He's blind. He needs 24-hour a day care, and my brothers and sisters and I rotate. Uh, just a lot, but he's a good man, and he was
Yeah.
always a good provider for us growing up, even now. Nothing but wisdom. And the title of the piece is "Throw Me Another Biscuit Around the Corner, if you please." Give me a second to find it. Second to find it. Wow.
Look me
I
another
love it.
biscuit around the corner. I like
Yeah, throw
that.
me.
It is so wonderful. It's a wonderful poem.
All right,
I
thanks.
remember another one of yours I really like, and it's your signature.
Oh, it's shell
Poem.
and beans. Shell and
Yeah.
beans. You know, I always cry on that one, so I don't want to do that one.
Okay.
Always bust out crying, start crying. But this is "Throw Me Another Biscuit Around the Corner, if you please." Hold on 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves for a second while I while I find it, please.
A lady died. I think I don't see her anymore. I don't know if she's still there. She might have gotten another phone call. I'm not sure.
Hold on.
So um, she her. I love her stuff. Her stuff's so heartfelt, and you just how much she loved her father is so wonderful. Let me read a few things that I haven't shared, and that is there was I haven't showed these comments. This was from Ty Clark, who said the flashbacks to school days pictures used to give me so much anxiety. I think that's when we are talking about the bullying thing, or no, I think that was your picture one. And then great, and then Ty said, shout out to all the amazing parents out there. And then Ty said, so long, summer, till next year. Yeah. So that pretty much summarizes our subject matters, right?
Hey,
Did you find it?
I found it. Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I'm going to keep you on this screen because it seems like whenever I go to a solo screen, it messes her up. So I'm going to
Okay.
keep it on this one.
All right. Not a problem. Are you ready? Are you there, Lady Di?
I don't know if she's there. Is she? Are you there, Lady Di? I saw her mute and unmute herself. Go ahead and go. And now, Michael, are you frozen? Wow. I might be the only one here. So, What a delightful evening it's been to have two of my favorite poets on tonight, Lady Di and Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram, and them sharing their works. Lady Di's gone back out again. Michael's frozen. Don't know if he's coming in or out again, or maybe out because I don't want to go solo. We have had a long show tonight. It's almost been 2 hours. So I'll give them a moment, but I do want to again thank both of them for joining. If they come back on, we'll go with it. If they don't, then it is what it is or isn't. Here is Lady Di's cookbook again, and that's on Amazon as well as her other books. If you look up Sylvia Beverly or Lady Di on Amazon, you'll find her books, which are marvelous. And she just came out with a new one with 150 poems as well. Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram is a forerunner in the podcasting on poetry. He's probably done, I don't know, like 400 and some interviews or more, and has very much been a great friend and mentor for me. And I appreciate him so much, as well as a wonderful poet. And look, he's back, which is good. Don't see his camera yet. Well, no, Lady Di's back. Michael Michael, it says they need to connect their camera before you can add them to the screen. So he
I'm
needs
back.
connections. Hi, do you want to go ahead and share another poem while we're here?
What
And
about you, Annette? Are you there?
yeah, you can't see me or hear
Doing the
me.
show. Everyone can see and hear you.
You can't see or hear me.
I'm back. Yes.
Okay. And Michael is I can't connect him because he is Michael, come back, go back out and come back in because
That's what I
you're not
did.
connected. Yeah, so he's not
That's what
connected.
I had to hit leave and come back.
What would you say, Lady Di, to people who want to start writing and are searching for inspiration or something to write about? What would you suggest they do?
Well, the inspiration is all around you. For myself, the first thing for me each and every day is prayer. And then having faith, I say, lead me, guide me. So that means that all that I do are the things that God would have me do. And looking all around, just looking at, you can watch the change of the season, like we told you some things today on the change, us leaving the summer and going into the autumn, into fall. You heard us talking about our families and growing up, all three of us, Michael, Annette, and I. And love is the greatest of all. So much love. And having a loving heart, caring about people, just write about that and tell people and inspire other people to do that. I didn't know I was going to be given the name Love Poet, but I've always just had a loving feeling. I've always loved music, all types of music. I love poetry. I love art. You can look at a picture and just paint, I say paint, but write from that painting. Just write from that. You can see some children outside, or you can bring that to your memory. I have a poem, He Waited for Her. And I'm picturing myself sitting in the windowsill, watching my brother and sister play on a sled. And I wasn't going to get on it, but I like watching them. And so the little girl reluctantly gets on the sled and zooms down the hill. And at the end of the poem, she was so excited because he waited for her. The boy was
No,
at the bottom of
that's
the hill. He waited for her. And that's me just picturing my brother and sister out there. I wouldn't get on it. I never got on it. I never got on the sled.
Yeah.
But the little girl, when I'm visioning her, is not actually my sister that's deceased, but she's my youngest baby sister who had that same adventurous spirit that my sister that's deceased had. And so I'm visioning her all dressed in her snowsuit, matching boots and all, how we used to dress her, and that all of that's in the poem. So just
Oh,
your imagination. You're just
is
using your imagination.
is that one that you have readily available or no?
Yes. Let's see. It's in the new book. It's in A Kiss of Curiosity. And let's see, where is it? I have a table of contents. I usually put that in my books. While I'm looking for it, I'll say anybody that's serious about writing or wanting a book or just wanting to start to write. A young man told me today he thinks he's going to start writing so he could get some of the negative parts of his life that he doesn't like and still doesn't, so he can write it off of him. And I told him to get a book, get one book. You could get a real pretty journal so you know that you always know where that is. People give me so many of them, but you could just get a black and white notebook, one of those little couple of dollar notebooks. You can't tear the pages out without messing it up, and just start writing in that,
Yeah.
and just keep up with it. I have I have a lot of poems that I've kept up with, but I have many of them that didn't make the book and that I don't know where they are. But I'm gonna say I have thousands of poems. Like I said,
I
this new
got you.
book has 150, and I've seen quite a number of them, which I look and see say, it didn't make the book. He waited for her, page 93. Yeah, I suggest that when you have a poetry book, place a table of contents in it because without that you might not be able to find it if you break a book. You don't have to have 150. You could do 100. You could do 50 poems and make a poetry book. You could do 25 poems and make a little chat book. So just go ahead and put something together if you feel that it's something that you'd like to share with someone else. He waited for her, daydreaming as far back as she could remember. One of her favorite things to do. Staring out the window, viewing the tallest pine trees' snow covered tops, watching squirrels hop from one branch to another. Far off in a distance, a little boy hops on his sleigh, zooms down the hill. As she peers over the sill, she sees a little girl dressed in a snowsuit, matching hat and gloves, shiny red boots, reluctantly ease to her sleigh. Down the embankment she flies, screaming to the top of her voice, eyes big and opened wide, happy, excited, thrilled. The boy was at the bottom of the hill. Yes, he waited for her.
That's so sweet. I love that. That is
Thank you.
that's
Thanks for having me
precious.
read it. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's just it has its innocence, doesn't it?
It does. It
Yeah,
does.
yeah, it really does. Well, we have been on for 2 hours. I've kept you long enough.
Well,
But did you have something that you want to read in the end? Did you have
yeah,
a
I do. I have one
oh,
love
Michael's
poem. You think
maybe?
Michael's coming back?
Well, he's there, but the audio and stuff isn't connected. I can't add him because um it says they will need to connect their mic and
Okay.
camera before you can add them.
So this one is Southern Lovers. Love, oh love, perpetually tickles my exhilarated heart. Ecstatic to be reunited, hour after hour, we sit in homemade wooden rockers under giant magnolias, down by river's bank. Silver strands shine and glisten our hair. From dawn to dusk, delightful, darling days gone by, we reminisce. So many stories connected and counted into a passionate, pleasing patoon. Remembering our favorite dessert, yesterday I made a sweet love cake. 3 buttery homemade layers made from scratch. Each layer spread with Milky Way nugget, stacked and covered in fluffy, creamy milk chocolate icing, generously sprinkled with our favorite nuts, fresh pecan halved, ooze like old-fashioned hearty love and laughter, shared between lovers with each bite, each deliciously moist slice.
That just made me hungry. So my mouth started salivating and it made me hungry. So,
Can you,
uh,
Michael, thanks for joining us, Michael.
can you see me? Can you see
yeah,
me?
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
we, we've had our we've had our time with these phones. I guess I'm gonna have to
Have been on the
find my.
have been on the internet roller coaster ride tonight, right?
I know my battery died in my phone. And
Well,
I
mine is
must
probably gonna die in a little bit, but I had mine
really love
plugged up
y'all,
in
but
the
this is
beginning.
past my bedtime.
Ty also said that it made him hungry too. So
I'm
thanks.
hungry now. Thanks. He said, "Thanks. I'm hungry
This is
now." It was
past
the
my
last
bedtime.
part.
Literally.
Well, Michael, thank you.
Michael was
Annette.
gonna yes. Michael was gonna do one on about his father real quick, I think, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
then, and then we'll say goodbye. We'll close out. But Michael, did you want to pay homage to your dad?
Please.
I was going to.
I hope it lit you.
Maybe we need to schedule a part 2 sometime to complete it.
We'll do a part
I'm running out
two.
of steam.
Yep,
You
we'll
can't
do
do
a
you
part.
can't do that
Oh,
poem, Michael. I know it takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
do you want? It's up to you
Let's
whether or not
schedule
you
a
want
part
to do it.
2.
Okay, we'll do
Some
part two
years.
then.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I'll do it. I'll do
We'll
it.
call it the
Hold on one second. Let me.
Oh, he's gonna do it. Okay, but well, we can still schedule a part
Yeah, I'll do it.
two.
Part
Go for
two.
it.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. Hold on one second. Okay, here we go. Hello?
Yep,
Hello.
we hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. It's called Throw Me Another Biscuit Around the
Uh-huh.
Corner, if you please. I can remember Sunday mornings when the whole family would get up to eat. We'd all hustle to the kitchen table in search of our favorite seat. There we would wait patiently until the food was on the table. We'd silently give thanks to God for making all things able. Go ahead and eat, our mama would say. But remember always to be thankful to the Lord for letting you see another day. In that kitchen, in the kitchen, you could hear the loud clicking of plates, spoons, and knives, as well as the scramble for grits, eggs, and bacon that we knew would keep our young bodies alive. Sometimes the noise in that kitchen was so great, it would make you wonder what we were doing to those plates. Yet no matter how loud we got on those Sunday mornings, there was one sound that came through indisputably clear. It was the big booming voice of our daddy who had taken his plate into the den because he knew he could not eat in the kitchen because it sounded like a freight train had roared in. Throw me another biscuit around the corner, if you please, he would say. And just like Special Page, we'd fight to see who'd be the one to throw one his way. Our daddy was a big old tall and burly black man who had to never worry about a biscuit to go sailing through the air because he'd catch it in the palm of his hand with his usual style and flair. You see, our daddy, as a younger man, had aspirations of becoming a great big baseball star. He played shortstop
and left field for the Rockingham Giants and the High Point Braves, so athletic abilities were known both near and far. Yet, like many black men whose lives take a sudden family turn, a career in baseball became one that he'd forever yearn. So when he'd holler, "Throw me another biscuit around the corner, if you please," one of us would shift to the side, step and throw, all of us hoping to the dear Lord it did not bounce and hit the floor. "Daddy," we say, "come into the kitchen and get a biscuit." "No, I can catch it like I did back in the day." "Daddy," we'd say, "your hands look like they can't take it anymore." "Yeah, I know," he'd wistfully say, "but I can still catch a biscuit just like I was a pro." All of us knew that our daddy's jet black leathery hands had been numbed and stiffened by years of hard work, toil, and sweat at the furniture factory. We all knew that his strong black hands had not given up yet. So throw me another biscuit around the corner, if you please, while I sit here and thank the Lord for the lip smacking goodness I'm about to receive.
I love that.
All right.
That is great. That is great.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Michael.
I didn't hit it like I
Thank you,
wanted to.
Dr.
If
Michael
this had been an
Anthony
hour earlier, I'd have
Ingram.
put my foot in it. But
No, it was good.
if it had been
That's
an
okay.
hour,
That's okay. You still did it good.
I think
It
you
was
had
still
mentioned
good
a
to me.
part two. You had mentioned a part two, but I think maybe a thing to do would be to have an open mic, some pop chat come on and have an open mic event, maybe 6 people at a time, maybe a couple of different events where we come and share our work. What do y'all think about that? We might have to do that sometime.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to another one of these right here.
Oh, you just want to do the trio? The trio. We
I'm
can
just
do
going to
the.
be truthful.
You know what? I'm
well, see,
okay
the thing
with that.
is,
I'm okay with that.
This thing was so good for me.
well, let me
I
say
got
this real quick. Some years ago, maybe you know this, that on Broadway, or maybe it was off Broadway, I'm not really sure, there was a play titled "A Couple of White Chicks Just Sitting Around Talking." And it made me think, here we are, a couple of poets, I don't know how you say three, just sitting around talking. You know what I'm talking about? You see what I'm saying? What the
Yeah.
concept could be, just sitting around talking. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Talking about
Yes.
life and then throwing a
Yes.
poem in to spice it up.
Yes.
Kind of like,
Yeah.
That's what we did.
I don't know. I'm just
That's
making all this up. You know, me always making stuff up.
Let's
That's
do
what we
it.
do. That's
We'll
exactly what we
schedule a
do.
part two. We'll schedule a part two. And I think that's great. It's been so
Just sitting
fun.
around shooting the breeze, just shooting the breeze, talking about life, but throwing
Yeah.
yes.
poems in to accentuate life. You
And
know,
the
I
thing
like this. This was good for my soul.
yes. And it is good for our soul because Lady Di and I love you. And we so want to see
Yes.
more. We do, don't we, Di?
You
Don't
know
we?
it.
Like I said,
Yeah,
it's been a rough road. It's been a rough road
I
lately, but
know. But
I'm
you
still
are
hanging on.
loved.
Can I
When
say
she
one more poem? Can we all say one more poem before we go and go to sleep?
yeah. I'm gonna have
You
you
go ahead,
start
Michael.
and then I'll go and I want Lady Di to finish. So go ahead.
Keep it close. Right, beautiful. That's the way it's supposed to be. Because Lady Di
Oh.
gave up her space tonight to allow somebody else
You're so
I love
generous.
to
sharing.
be on the stage for her. And that's
Everybody
rare.
knows that I
All
love
right,
to
then.
share.
Yeah, I know you do. I'm just playing around. I dedicate this to the two of you.
Oh.
And the title of it is God Hugged Me Today. God hugged me today. I did not ask him to do it, yet he did it anyway. He held me in the warmth of his arms, and during that instant, the world changed. My heart opened up to receive the magnitude of his blessings, and at that moment I knew all is right. All is good. All God talked to me today. I did not ask him to do it, yet he did it anyway. And during that instant, the conditions in which I live changed. His soothing words calmed the trough waters of my weary, weary soul. And at that moment, I knew all is all right. All is good. All is God. God walked with me today. I did not ask him to do it, yet he did it anyway. He took my hand, and during that instant, the ground beneath me changed. The rough stones of despair that had cut and bruised my feet throughout my lifetime turned into billowy clouds of hope, of dreams, of peace. And at that moment, I knew all is all right. All is good. All is God. God cried with me today. I did not ask him to do it, yet he did it anyway. He knelt down beside me, and during that instant, the air I breathed changed. Each precious teardrop touched my body, and I was healed of all pain and all sadness. And at that moment, I knew all was all right. All was good. All was God. Annette, Lady Di, God loved us today. We did not ask him to do it, yet he did it anyway. And during that instant, our lives changed. He had allowed his only begotten son, Jesus, to die for our sins. And we realized that his love for us was greater than any love we would ever know. And at that moment, we knew all were right, all was good, all was God. Thank you.
Love it. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Oh,
That's
Michael,
beautiful.
what a way to go.
And it was
Thank
just
you.
beautiful.
I
I hope you
heard
don't
my
mind. I
name in
did
that
it at
poem too.
the end and changed it to make it all of us instead of just me.
I,
But I just felt that was on my heart to say that. I wanted
I
to
Thank
liked it.
you.
bring it, make it
That's
inclusive that we're
that was the
all
most touching part.
And
Oh,
all is
because
right
of that,
because
because you led the way into my poem, which is called "A Walk with God in the Rain." Kind
oh,
of a okay.
yeah,
So
right.
we're going
Yes,
down that theme. So we're gonna go down that. So this is actually a video on YouTube that Alan Johnson did, but "A Walk with God in the Rain." A
okay.
stroll alone in the rain one dark, cool night would change her course for the rest of her life. Once she was surrounded by loved ones all around. She had changed. A life in solitude, her decisions not sound. She had found herself in a crossroad in life. Monetarily, she had much amidst the gnawing of heartache and strife. She thought she was a child of God and always followed his will. Yet she found her life had little meaning. She was unfulfilled. She cried out, God, why don't you listen to me? Don't you hear my prayers? I pray to you, but no answer of my pleas. You are unaware. God said to her, my child, when you cried out, I would be there to listen. You only heard what you wanted to hear. Such was your disposition. When you held out your hand, I offered mine to you. When you were down, I gave you the sun with skies of blue. When you thought too much of yourself, I would show you someone in need. You knew of their trials and hardships, but you did not take heed. When you made poor decisions and you were bound to get hurt, I watched you, my child. My parental guidance I did assert. Instead of listening to me, you chose to turn away. Your conscience pleaded with you and told you with me to stay. I was your pillow and dried your eyes at night when you cried. I was the wind following you, always with you, by your side. I'm the moon in the sky with the effervescent glow. I'm your conscience. Pay attention, then the right decisions you will know. I am your guardian. When you fall down, I will pick you up and brush you off. Hear my voice when I whisper to you. Listen closely, for it is soft. I am the rainbow in the sky. See my colors of love. I'm God, your Father. One day you will reside with me above. End of peace.
Wow. Sometimes there are no
That was
words.
beautiful.
Thank
That was
you.
beautiful. That's so lovely.
Sometimes there are no words.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Lady Di, take it away.
Well, I'm so thankful, grateful, and blessed. My poem is faith. Faith. Believe. Oh, Jesus, born the King of angels, we believe in you. We strive to do what you want us to. We trust you, Heavenly Father. We are anchored in the goodness and blood of Christ. You are so strong. You give us strength. You give us courage. You forever give us hope. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be joy to the world. Oh, are y'all there?
Yeah, we're here.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
There.
Can you hear us?
We receive peace, joy, and happiness thinking of you. We pray to be patient day by day, to walk this earth in a godly way, to be with you on our minds, keeps us healthy, strong, and kind. We're so happy faith leads each of our lives.
Well, she went away. Okay. I think we're going to end it. We are
Right there
about
at the end.
2 hours
Yeah.
and 20 minutes into the program. And um, so you are a part of the longest podcast ever. So there you go. So,
I think you beaten my record for a long podcast too.
oh, here she is. Here she is. She came back. Let's see if we can get her back. Did you
I'm
want to
here.
finish up?
We're gonna be here all night long.
Did y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I kept doing it, but y'all were gone.
Yeah, we could still see you. Then you disappeared. Did you want to finish it up?
Oh, Faith. Yes, please share it again, please. Please. I want to hear the whole entire thing.
There you go.
Faith.
Get a drink of water and
Should I get a
sip
drink of
some
water?
water. We've been talking about water
Okay.
too. Yeah, drink of
Yeah.
water. Yeah, get a drink of water.
Sure.
I need one myself, honestly.
I'm glad you said that.
Thanks for reminding
this has
her
been
to drink
incredible.
so she doesn't get dehydrated. So we appreciate you. All right. Mine's
Excuse
not
me.
cold though. I don't know if y'all's is. Mine's room temperature. That's so good. All right,
Y'all are
guys.
going away again. Can you hear me? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Y'all are in it. Y'all are in and out on this.
Just
Okay.
just say it.
Okay.
Just say it the whole time. Say it. We're here.
Faith. Oh, Jesus, born the King of angels, we believe in you. We strive to do what you want us to. We trust you, Heavenly Father. We anchor in the goodness and blood of Christ. You are so strong. You give us strength. You give us courage. You forever give us hope. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be joy to the world. We receive peace, joy, and happiness thinking of you. We pray to be patient day by day, to walk this earth in a godly way, To be with you on our minds keeps us healthy, strong, and kind. We're so happy faith leads each of our lives. We live with little or no strife. For you, Jesus, are the center of our lives. We come to adore you. We love you now and forever.
Bravo, bravo. I loved it.
Wow.
And we both
Hallelujah.
end a page.
Bravo.
I think we all think that our gifts are God given anyway, right?
That's
Right?
right. That's how
That
we
is.
end it.
I want to show you this before we go.
To God be the glory.
God be the glory. I'm going to show you this before we get kicked off, but I had to come up with something. So we're almost at 2 hours and 30 minutes. You have won the Pop Chat Longest Forever Award, and I don't have an award to present you with, so I'm coming up with an impromptu. So here's your award, the Pop Chat Award for longest. It's just like a rock, but it's the closest thing I had to award. Here's your award. If I ever see you in person, I will give this to you, Lady Di. You know that retreat we're going to someday. You're going to get this award.
Oh,
So the Lady Di and
well, thank
Michael Ingram Award. I'll now have to get another one.
Congratulations, Lady Di.
I actually have two of
Every
these.
honor.
Thank you, Michael,
Every
for
accolade.
joining.
There you go.
Thank you,
Here's your award.
Michael, so much.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Annette, for allowing Michael
yeah,
to
beautiful.
join us.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for allowing
Such
Annette,
a-
allow me to do it.
both of us to impose upon
Yeah,
your
and thank
time.
you for accepting the invitation.
But,
I
that's the big one.
yes,
You're right.
thank you. Look at long pop
And that's
chat.
I'll
it.
come
I
out.
enjoyed every
I
minute
will
of
come
it.
out.
Thank you, all three. Thank you, Ty. Ty is
Who's
Ty
that?
is
Somebody,
the solo
somebody
one
named
that's
Ty.
giving me a good time. Ty.
Thank you, Ty, for hanging around, man. Thank you.
So,
Bye.
love and blessings to everyone, and thank you so much, both of you. There will be a part two. It'll be announced later on once I get back with you all. So, we'll do a part two. Is that okay? Is that a virtual pinky swear?
All right.
Everybody hold it. Yeah, virtual pinky swear.
I just said peace
Yeah.
with a
Okay.
kiss.
Okay. Well,
And
no,
stay
no,
tuned for a
yeah,
couple
I'll
of
do
things
this.
from my podcast, too.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
gonna
This is
come
question.
to
What does
yours.
everybody have coming up on the horizon? What
And
does
when?
everybody
When?
have coming up on the horizon? What's coming up for you, Lady Di? What's next for you? I usually ask this at the end of my show. What's next for you? Where do you go from here?
I can't think right now. I'm just caught up in this show. I don't know my
Okay.
next thing.
All right.
Think about that.
What about
You'll
you, Annette?
answer.
Where do you go from here, my friend?
I'm not
I
sure.
Okay.
I can
All
let
right.
you know. I'll text you.
I've just
Okay.
got all kinds of stuff always going. More people to interview and collaborative things to do, and another issue of a magazine to come out with, and more people to publish online. And at the top of the list, however, is to be interviewed by Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram on his show, his podcast.
Wow. Which is funny because there are two things I'm getting ready to do. One of which I've been talking about this one for years. And if you go to the group, you'll see an image of me holding a bell, and it's Let Poetry Ring. I'm planning to start a Let Poetry Ring ensemble group. And I'd like to invite the both of you to be, I know you're both busy people, but to think about being inaugural members of it, the Let Poetry Ring ensemble. And everybody has a group.
Wait a minute.
Might as well have one too. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, I'm going to start Let Poetry Ring conversations. So maybe, Annette, you can be the first guest on that particular.
Yeah. I would love
You know,
to.
that's a little different. A little different twist.
Yeah.
Let Poetry Ring conversation. You'll be my first guest.
I thank you.
And Lady Di, you'll be my second. You'll be my second.
Yeah.
There's three caballeros, three musketeers. Where one goes, we all go.
Yeah.
All right, now.
We're gonna come up with
All
a
right.
little nickname for this trio here. I don't know what it is yet, but
Well, and that you can put that you can put the longest show and put Michael and my face on there, the longest show in the pop chat. You can
I
make
I will be
one of
making
those
an
real pretty
announcement.
one of those real pretty drawings that you do, those posters that you make,
Oh, she does
and
great work.
and
Doesn't she do great work?
doc-
She does incredible work.
I know they're gorgeous, so I want
I
to see
love
my
the fact.
name in lights. It's like having my name in lights every time. So that's what you can do for me for that.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
This automatically gets posted onto YouTube, and I don't know how I can. I'll see if I can edit it to where I can put Michael in there too. But this has been so
Oh
great.
yeah,
I
don't
love
worry
you
about
both so much. Love and peace to you all. The Three Musketeers will be back. We're going to come up with another name for the trio. But
Okay.
it. All right, kid.
thank you so
All right,
much,
love y'all.
Love
Michael.
you.
Stay out of trouble.
Somebody
Stay
got
out
to
of
say
trouble.
goodnight.
All right,
Thank
bye.
you, Lady Di.
Good night.
Good
Bye
night.
bye. Thank
Bye,
you,
y'all.
Michael. Thank you, Annette.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Bye bye.
Sleep.
Let
Sleep
poetry
tight.
ring. All right. Bye.